Hi everyone, I'm Cassidy.
I'm Kaylin.
And I'm Kaylin.
So with the show of hands, how many of you guys have taken multicultural classes? Okay, and with another show of hands, how many of you took those classes before college? Okay, thank you. You can put all your hands down.
Today we will be talking to you guys about multicultural education. Our goal is that we believe multicultural racism classes should be taught throughout all educational schooling systems. Here's a short intro video to give you more insight about multicultural learning.
Quale bambola è bianca? Quale bambola è nera? Quale delle due è bella?
Questa.
Qual è quella bella? Qual è quella brutta? E qual è quella buona? Quale è cattiva? Qual è buona?
Lei.
Perché è buona?
Perché ha gli occhi celesti.
Quale è cattiva? Perché è cattiva?
Perché è tutto nero.
E qual è la bambola che ti somiglia di più? Quale bambola è nera?
È offeso. Tu. Perché mi chiamato nero? Ti offendi perché altri bambini mi hanno preso con cattiveria.
Ah, io non ho usato il sonno.
Quello sto mi sta guardando storto.
What is multicultural education? Multicultural education is teaching that incorporates different histories, beliefs, and values of people who come from different cultural backgrounds into learning.
So, how can we implement this into our schooling systems? There are many ways to do this, but the three that we thought were the best ways to get into your learning system was one, multicultural classes. These classes will be designed in all schools to learn about ethnicities and cultures of other students. In an article called Raising Cultural Awareness of 5th Grade Students in Action Research Study, they did a study on 5th graders at a school in West Texas. These students were a part of a 2-week study where the teacher would put up a short mini clip of a multicultural video to get a little bit of like empathy going on in their heart and their head and see what they do. This school was 76% white, 11% Hispanic, and 11% African American. So this study only went on for about 2 weeks, and each clip that she played, she's won a lesson plan of cultural value and bullying to be all focused on this awareness. And this causes students to show empathy towards the characters in all these clips that she showed every single day. The second type of way to implement it into your schooling system is learning activities. One learning activity activity that we thought of was a buddy system. This buddy system would be two students would pair up together so they were able to learn about others' cultures and ethnicity backgrounds. And it would also acknowledge them about others' cultures besides their own so they don't really come naive later in life of only knowing their own. The third that we thought of was field trips. So these field trips would take you to multicultural museums and venues around Los Angeles or wherever your school county is, because according to ResearchGate, a study said that field trips benefit psychologically and physically from spending time in the natural world. So this meaning that students going on these field trips lets them think for themselves without the teacher pressuring it into themselves. So them being able to see it hands-on is more of a way that they would enjoy it and actually want to learn about it.
So why multicultural education classes in the classroom? Well, according to a study done at Chapman University, multicultural education classes' major aim is to create equal educational opportunities for students from diverse racial, ethnic, social class, and cultural groups. So I grew up in Moorpark, California, and I did all of my schooling there. And from age pre-K to my senior year of high school, I never once took a multicultural class. And this isn't because I didn't want to take a multicultural class, it's because it was never offered, it was never an option for me to take one of these classes. Now, I remember a specific incident when I was in middle school in Moorpark. There was a very sweet boy named Ahmed who was Indian, and he was special ed. And he was such a sweet kid, but he would often get made fun of because his ethnicity was different from the majority of our school. Growing up in Moorpark, California, it's majorly predominantly white in a suburban area, so in the classroom there's not a lot of ethnicities and there's not a lot of just racial differences. It's pretty non-diverse. So there was this specific incident that happened in middle school where Ahmed was getting made fun of because he was of different ethnicity than all of the other kids. And it was this one particular boy who was making fun of him for his ethnicity. And it turned into an altercation where Ahmed seemingly kicked his foot up and his shoe was loose on his foot, so it went flying and hit the boy in the face. And this caused the boy to get a bloody nose. Now, the boy, who was already making fun of Ahmed, was not happy about this, so he went over and he punched Ahmed in the face. It's a very sad story. Seemingly, they both ended up getting suspended from school. I believe if we had these multicultural classes implemented in the classroom at my middle school during this time, this incident may not have happened because we would have learned in the classroom prior to this incident how to accept each other's differences and how to accept the different school lunches and embrace the different ethnicities and colors and everything that comes along with multicultural classes. And I think it really would have made a difference for us in our school, especially in Moorpark, to have these multicultural classes implemented in the classroom.
So here at CSUN, I actually took a Chicana study last year to fulfill my requirement of some GE. I was in it in 2017. This is when they're trying to get rid of having these classes here on campus. I was a part of it because I needed just a requirement to be covered, but once I was in it, I actually learned a lot that I never knew anything about. So I really enjoyed this class. It's actually my favorite class I took that year, and we all participated in the walkout that year. And in the end, I did end up keeping this class, but I was honestly shocked at how much I didn't know about other races and cultures because I've been behind these bars of schools not telling me because we just learned the classic history or the English and the math. We don't really learn about other cultures besides the ones that happened before in history time that they do matter, but they're not what it is now. So I think that if we were to put multicultural classes or any type of system into a classroom setting, it will definitely help people being naive because I was definitely naive when I was going into this class.
inevitable in the world we live in today, but by teaching kids at a young age about multicultural racism, we are able to put them on the right path by promoting positive messages and letting young kids know that being diverse and different from one another is okay. Learning about other people's backgrounds will help kids show that we are all unique, which makes us all important and different. In an article by Teachers Hub, it talks about the many advantages of multicultural learning, which are help students develop positive self-image, allows multiple perspectives and ways of thinking, and combat stereotypes and prejudicial behavior.
So the second way that adding these multicultural educational classes into your think of effect is gaining knowledge about different cultures. So as I said before about the buddy system of being a way to implement it into your classroom settings, it allows these students to learn about other cultures and backgrounds of their family or their food or what they like to do at home instead, because you just go to class and you don't really know anything about other people besides what they have for food or lunch or what they like to do or what they like to read. So instead of them being able to make fun of them is teach them what it's like, what it's all about. And it also lets them know where they came from and it gets them closer to their classmates in the end.
So promoting multicultural concepts. So teaching kids about different cultures and different ethnicities will make them more open to multicultural experiences even further in their life, even after they're done with school. According to Kids Matter, early childhood is the time when children first become aware of the differences among people and start forming their own opinions and attitudes about these differences. By providing these multicultural classes in the classroom, we can make sure that the opinions and the attitudes that children are forming are on the right track to be appropriate attitudes and opinions that are not racist or prejudiced.
So going based off what Michaela mentioned before about the action research study, evidence within this active research study shows how you can eliminate racism in a classroom, but many of you may be wondering how can we ultimately eliminate racism overall. Although children may be taught about racism in school, which decreases the use of it, of course, it still exists outside of the classroom and the school, unfortunately. It may be a harsh reality, but racism is not going to completely end by teaching multicultural classes. However, it is a step in the right direction. By teaching younger kids about multicultural classes and racism, they will be a generation who have become more educated and aware of the world around them and be able to understand different cultures and ethnicities. That way they have knowledge of these things.
So in our closing video, it is going to show you teaching children to see each other as human beings rather than colors. So here's a video. It's two girls who are best friends.
They don't matter if we have the same skin color. We're still twins.
They may not be related, but these girls are as close as sisters.
Sarah's my best friend and I love her, and she likes to play with me when she comes to my house, and she's my best friend and I love her.
Gia Sarnicola and Suri Copeland met in preschool, but if you ask them, they'll convince you that they're twins. Their moms say another child recently tried to break the news to the girls that they aren't twins, but they were not having it.
We had the same birthday, and we wear the same clothes, and we go to the same school.
While Gia's birthday is actually 2 days before Suri's, it's close enough for them. Even better than having the almost same birthday, the girls say they have the same soul.
We love each other so much. I love her this big, and I love her a lot and a lot and a lot. My best friend in the whole world.
Whether they're soulmates or sisters, they certainly have a bond that seems unbreakable. For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Overall, incorporating multicultural classes into schools, especially at a young age, can have many positive benefits. With gaining more knowledge of different heritages and ethnicities, we can change the way society judges one another based off their skin color. Thank you.